Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode. Only things have changed slightly.
In the words of Black Arachnia, no, Air Razor. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Oh, goodness. Before we get into too much else, my name's Clayton Presson, as always. I'm joined by my brother, Corbin Presson.
Hey, what's going on?
Normally, I would spew some bro-infused word at you.
Yeah.
And welcome everyone to the CP to the Second Degree podcast. However, change is on the horizon. And starting as of now, we are no longer CP to the Second Degree.
Wait, then what are we?
Now and forever, we will be known as Enter the Nerdosphere.
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 da-bum, bum.
We did this for several reasons. One, branding. Makes it easier to sell a brand where the title very much gives away what it's about.
CP to the Second Degree is definitely a funny play on words for those who know us. But if we're trying to garner new viewers, new listeners, they don't really understand what that exactly represents.
Exactly. It was a play on Clayton Presson CP, Corbin Presson CP, so CP squared, CP to the Second Degree. We thought it was clever. Branding wise, now that we look back on it, not probably the best move. So,
Live and learn.
changing the branding. However, in addition to changing the brand, we are also changing our format. If you've been following our YouTube stuff, we've started putting out some vlogs, mainly Pokemon Go stuff, because that's all the rage right now and we love it. But
And it's easy and fun.
yeah.
But
there will be more. We have plans for more than just Pokemon Go vlogs. It'll become more like Pokemon Go Let's Play adventures and then our regular vlogs. But anyways, we also have plans in the works for further expanding our YouTube content, even beyond that. So we needed a way to encompass everything, hence the name change. We also will be changing how we do the podcast.
Exactly. There will be...
One of the biggest things we've heard back from people who do tell us, we've heard positive things about the content of the cast. The only negative thing that we've really heard is the time. So this is some of the inspiration behind our new formats.
And if you've been watching us, you've seen that we've done better.
A little bit.
But there's only so much time that Clay and I can shave off if we're doing news and rumors and a topic. You can't do all of that in 30 minutes.
No,
we just can't.
So basically what we're going to do,
Yep.
Enter the Nerdosphere, is now the main podcast. And it will be simply a news and rumors podcast. We'll address all of the latest news and rumors like we do every week.
Yep.
Discuss it like we do every week. But that'll be it.
You'll have yourself a nice, dense 30 minutes of what's going on.
This one will probably, I imagine, be more like 45.
Yeah, because this one in particular is covering ComicCon, and we're doing all this intro stuff. But on average...
30 to 45, we'll say then. Because even our topics sometimes would only be 20 minutes long, and we talk news and rumors for a long time.
It really just kind of depends on what happens that week.
The goal was to shave off the topic time to make the time of the main cast, the bulk and meat of it, which is news and rumors, more appealing to a wider audience.
Right.
In addition to that, fear not if you like our discussions on certain topics. We will still be doing smaller podcasts on certain topics, like our movie reviews. This week we're going to be doing a review on Star Trek Beyond.
Correct.
It will be a standalone Nerdosphere reviews podcast episode.
So no intro bits of this happened this week. It's going to be maybe mild chit chat, most likely not. It's going to be just diving straight into what this is. Mm-hmm. So again, if you are someone who, like I know some people who have spoken to me who actually don't care about news and rumors, they just care about the topic. This is a way for them to just jump straight into it without having to fast forward through 30 minutes or so and like trying to find where the topic's at.
Exactly.
So it's more accessible, it's more streamlined. And like Clayton said earlier, it's short and sweet.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully this appeals to everyone out there. Hopefully those who listen to it from beginning to end, wanting both news and rumors and the topics, won't mind clicking one extra time to listen to 2 different casts. For those of you who are interested, we're even expanding into the Pokemon Go podcast realm. We're going to debut a Pokemon podcast dedicated just to talking about Pokemon Go this week. We decided to do this because last week, well, we had the whole show on Pokemon Go, which we ended up talking about Pokemon Go like almost the whole time. Then last week we had the news segment called Pokestop, and we ended up talking about Pokemon Go for another 20 minutes. So instead of us feeling the need to talk about Pokemon Go in our main podcast and taking up more time, maybe making it longer, maybe losing some audience before the topic comes out because they really don't care about Pokemon Go at all, we're going to dedicate a Pokemon Go podcast for those who are interested.
Exactly. So there's a little bit for everyone.
Yes. And like I said, we're going to have at least 1 vlog come out a week, most likely 2 vlogs when we start getting really into it in the coming weeks. So,
and the Pokestop podcast is also something that's going to add a fresh element, is that particular podcast is not just Clayton and I. Mm-hmm. We are introducing a third voice that you'll be introduced to this week.
And he will be a regular, and we will introduce him in that podcast. So if you're interested, tune in, and you will...
Dare I say, stop on by the Pokestop.
Oh, dang. So yeah, be on the lookout for the Pokestop podcast presented by Enter the Nerdosphere.
Be there.
So, with all of that said, you are entering the Nerdosphere.
Then that's not the theme song, but
no. Oh, that's another thing. See, this is a soft reboot. We're doing all sorts of stuff. We've commissioned a brand new logo. Let's go ahead and reveal that.
Sure.
We haven't finalized on the image yet, but we have it commissioned and working on it. We also have an intro animation. As soon as the logo is ready, we're going to have that commissioned out.
Right. So this is very much a soft launch of Nerdosphere.
This is a soft launch to get the new format of how we deliver our content going and get the name change going. But it is going to be a full, basically, relaunch because we're going to have a fancy logo, fancy new animation. We've picked out some awesome new music that will represent us instead of using a snippet of music from our topic.
Right.
We were gonna have a dedicated intro and outro theme song.
Right, like you said, a song to represent who we are. So you hear it and you immediately think, "Oh, Nerdosphere."
So we're really excited.
It's good stuff. It's cool.
And we hope you check us out on YouTube because we're still gonna be delivering stuff in podcast form, don't get us wrong, but we're definitely really starting to expand in YouTube. We want to start delivering consistently 4 things at least.
It's at least gonna be 4 things, sometimes 5 things if we have a review.
Yeah,
because we for sure will always have news and rumors in the Pokestop podcast, and then 2 vlogs.
And 2 vlogs.
If there's a topic we want to cover, like the Tron 3 and the Snoke, where they're just like
we need to talk about feelings. This. Yeah.
That will be an additional podcast in like with the other 2. So Sometimes you get 5 things a week. Sometimes you'll get 4. But you will be at least getting 4 things a week.
And I imagine after this week, because we're treating this week as a soft launch, as we've said,
right,
we'll have a more concrete schedule so people can know when things are coming out so they can check it. So the main Enter the Nerdosphere News and Rumors podcast is still going to come out Wednesdays at 9 a.m. That's not going to change.
Right.
The topic and or movie review, I imagine we'll put out on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And then, depending on what the vlogs are, probably one Monday, one Thursday.
We might want to strive... No, Tuesdays makes sense. Because we won't be able to record until Monday, and there's no way we're going to get up Monday night.
Especially if we're doing a movie review, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it really doesn't matter for just a regular topic, but if we're doing a movie review, we need to wait, because we like to present, like, the opening weekend box office numbers and stuff.
Right.
So, and we want to give people a chance who want to see it opening weekend to see it before we post our spoiler-full reviews. So...
Because we ain't about the spoil-free.
I can't do it.
There's no point. It would be like, hey, so this movie is about people and things.
And
our thoughts and feelings can't be articulated.
We liked some of it, but we didn't like some of it, and we can't really tell you why because it would ruin the movie for you.
Yeah, that's not how a review is done. Come on. We ain't about that life.
But anyways, we said all that to welcome you to our new podcast. With episode 15, we have become Enter the Nerdosphere. You can still find us on Facebook. You can still find us on Twitter. You can still find us on YouTube.
Yep.
All of which will be changed from CP 2 Degree to Enter the Nerdosphere by the time this is posted. So, check us all out.
Heck yeah, you.
So, with all that out of the way, let's open up the interwebs. Grab all the grains of salt in news and rumors.
Bum, bum, bum. So like I kind of said earlier, this is going to be a ComicCon centered podcast.
Right.
Whew. Loud baby.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my wife's really trying to calm him either, so there's that.
Bum, bum, bum. Yes. Okay, so Comic-Con was this past weekend. San Diego. The year's 2016, right?
Yes, yeah, it's 2016.
So this year in Hall H, Marvel has returned. If you remember last year at Comic-Con, Marvel took a break. They decided we don't need to really be at Comic-Con. We're going to do it the Disney Expo. And so that is where our topic begins. Phase 3 kicked off with Civil War, but how far in advance is Marvel planning? While chatting with comicbook.com, Kevin Feige said, "We always look at a horizon line that's usually about 5 years off. Sometimes, even that is sort of a pipe dream. Sometimes, it even goes beyond that. That's usually what we're looking at. Right now, we know through and have announced through 2019. We have ideas and pretty firm of where we're going in 2020. 2021, which still sounds like the crazy, far-fetched future to me, but 2021 is still in flux through 2025.
So everything's set in stone
until
2019?
Yes. And then 2021 through 2025 is moving around.
Does that mean we're going to have a period of 2 years with no Marvel films?
I doubt it. In the comments, they were kind of chit-chatting about how, you know, they have plans, right, for certain things, but they are still waiting to see how Doctor Strange and, like, Ant-Man the Wasp does. So I imagine they still want to do sequels for those films, but they really can't commit to a sequel until they see how they do. So my idea is they have new franchises planned all through that time, and then sequels will be added depending on how well they are received.
I got
how well
you.
they do.
I can see that. Good point.
So, also, while we're on Marvel, top rumored contender and Academy Award winner Brie Larson is officially Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Sweet.
This is what Kevin had to say about the decision. Listen, we set the bar very high with the first casting decision we ever made with Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Since then, every single choice we've made, we have to ask, could it meet that bar? Because that is what people expect of us, and that is what? It's a very high bar. Carol Danvers needs to be as rich and textured and real as the best of our characters. Maybe even more so. And we got very lucky with Brie, who has also those attributes and Academy Award now. Was still very interested in signing up and joining us to bring this character to life. I think this was a good nab by them.
I think so too. They continue to prove that they care a lot about who they cast, and they continue to make nothing but correct choices. So until they make a wrong choice, which we won't know until we see them on screen.
And while they continue to nab actors like Benedict Cumberbatch and Brie Larson, who's an Academy Award winner, we are shown that, you know, these, again, we always talk about how Marvel's evolving, but these aren't just frivolous superhero movies, because they are attracting the creme de la creme of talent.
Yeah.
While there is still no director set for the movie, they did announce that they have narrowed it down to a top 10 list, and we are expected to hear an announcement by the end of the summer.
Okay.
Early fall.
It's pretty quick.
But they move pretty fast. They know what they're doing over there.
True. And they've had a lot of time to like streamline their process, so.
Right. Arrow Season 5 is getting a new Team Arrow and seems to be looking to its roots for an attempt at a refresh. Stephen Amell says, Bam, we call him Bam Bam. Gets it and gets the theme of the show, and it feels like it's a street-level crime-fighting show, and it's about saving Star City and cleaning it up, which is what the show is. I think the best version of the show is when we focus on that. Then, EP Wendy Merciel added, we're going back, like Stephen Amell said, back to Season 1, so we're going to have some really badass monsters. We're kind of really going back to the crime of the city. When we come back to it, it's Mayor Queen in office, and things are better, and there's no ultimate impending terrorist attacks, but there is a lot of street crime, and the mobsters have really taken over the city. Stephen Amell also expanded on how Ollie apparently is doing a terrible job as mayor.
Oh.
Partially because he did win the election in a landslide because he was unopposed.
Right.
And since Team Arrow disbanded, he's having to do everything himself as Arrow, so he's neglecting his job as the mayor. But Thea is having to pick up the pieces and do his mayor job kind of for him, because that's realistic.
Yeah. This show, man. And they're still doing flashbacks.
They're still doing flashbacks.
I think he's going to be in Russia now, dealing with the mob people that he made friends with.
Clayton, the flashbacks is an integral part of the Arrow storytelling.
It is not. It's the worst part of the Arrow story.
With the new Team Arrow, we're going to have Arsenal joining the team, and Mr. Terrific being trained by Ollie, and one other guy who I have no idea who he is.
Arsenal is in who?
Not Arsenal. I meant Artemis. Sorry.
Artemis.
Artemis.
Okay.
The gal from Supernatural, who you didn't watch. She, after the Black Canary died, she stole Black Canary's costume and impersonated her for an episode. But actress is from Supernatural. We had talked about that in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
But she will be playing Artemis.
Okay. And Mr. Terrific, the third smartest man. You remember when we walked into, what was Josh Soto's comic book shop called?
The Fantasy Shop.
Fantasy Shop. I remember walking in there, eyes a-glisten, because the new 52 had just launched, and we were looking at all of the fresh number ones, deciding which ones should we purchase for our own collections, so we can look back one day and say, I was there when the new 52 was born. And we looked upon all of the different titles, came across one that read, Mr. Terrific, third smartest man in the world, exclamation point.
And that's when we knew that would not go in our box.
So who's the two smartest men then in that
the
universe?
DC universe?
Do we know if Mr. Terrific is touting proudly that he's the third smartest man? Who's the two smartest men?
I imagine it would be someone who's like in the Mobius chair who has the answers to anything and everything. Right? Wouldn't you have to go there?
I guess. I don't know.
Neither do I.
There's not really like a Reed Richards in that universe, is there? Or a Hank
Well, Ray
Pym.
Palmer.
But
he's
he's
not
not like...
Yeah, he's not on that level.
He's not Reed Richards or Hank Pym.
No.
Or even Tony Stark.
For those who are listening, can you tell us, without us having to Google it right here, right now? We're going to engage you, the fans. Let us know, who are the top two smartest people in the DC universe that puts Mr. Terrific at the lonely bronze third?
Yeah, please let me know. Tweet the show or tweet us or comment.
Appreciate it. Next. Kurt Russell is, surprise, surprise, drum roll please, Peter Quill's padre.
Father, for those of you who don't speak Spanish.
He is also Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah.
And has a human form as well, because they showed a costume.
He's Ego, but they described him in an article that I read as a energy being.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not necessarily
a planet.
The same exact like planet with a face from the comics.
Okay.
But he has like a tangible form, and that's Kurt Russell.
I'm interested in seeing. I have faith. I have faith in James Gunn.
He is not the father in the comics.
No.
So.
Right. But it'll be interesting to see how James Gunn.
Also, the villain, Ayasha,
something like that.
Anyways, the villain, AY something or other. She never had any contact with the Guardians of the Galaxy ever.
While filming?
No, in the comics.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Guardians of the Galaxy never came across her. They never crossed paths.
Well, we already knew that James Gunn was doing
an original story.
Right.
Yeah. Which is fine. And actually, I think it's probably better that he's using actual characters in his own way than just like completely making up its own thing.
Right.
So.
Spider-Man Homecoming footage was shown in Hall H, but was never released onto the webs. Apparently, what was released was a montage of Peter going through his daily life in high school, going to chemistry class, interacting with his friends, funny banter here and there. Then it segued into some awesome action of Spider-Man swinging through the city, doing some street crime, and then the Vulture was seen. And apparently it was epic. They did release concept art to show us a glimpse of what the Vulture could look like. As we all know, concept art does not always translate into the final product.
No, but Marvel concept art that gets released is usually like spot on.
Yeah.
And his suit looks freaking sweet.
It's very cool.
He's got like huge wings and then like little propeller like fans like kind of at the apex turning point.
Yep. Man. He's got combat boots that slip into metallic talons. So like
that's cool.
It's really cool. So like when you're looking at the concept art is like an aerial shot, and so you see the boot treads, but then around it is the metal encasing of like the talons. So it's kind of cool. So it's kind of like an exoskeleton that goes on around him.
Yeah, I'm really excited because we've seen his other villains a couple times now. I'd be okay if we don't see Green Goblin at all.
Yeah,
for a while.
Let it.
They could even skip and go to Hobgoblin first.
Please. I actually like Hobgoblin a lot anyways. Mm-hmm. When Tom Holland presented the video, he did say this is straight up a high school movie. And those who walked away did say that the movie felt very John Hughesy. And they compared the tone to the critically acclaimed series Freaks and Geeks. They said it was really cool. And a really cool, very different vibe.
I'm very excited for this movie.
I am too. Joss Whedon says he'd return to Marvel to direct a Black Widow movie.
What a dork.
He's quoted as saying, "I think that character really is very interesting and very earthbound. So it's the kind of action that I got to do less of with somebody like Thor or the Vision. Whedon said Whedon said, when you get into your Superman territory, it's harder to maintain the gritty action that the Russo brothers do so brilliantly. And she's got that kind of thing you can really do a spy thriller. Like, really do a good, paranoid Jean Leclerc on crack sort of thing. That would be really fun, he says.
Whatever, dude.
I don't want him touching it. I don't want him back. Honestly, Black Widow's solo film deserves something that seems a little bit gritty. Mm-hmm. And Joss Whedon, although I like his style, he's campy. Like, he's campy and quirky.
He'll describe something like that, and then it'll be Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
Like, real campy, just almost aware of itself.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree. I think we've said it before in a past podcast, but we respect tremendously what Joss Whedon did for the Marvel Universe with Avengers,
right,
and even Avengers Age of Ultron. But it was for the best that he moved on, and it's for the best even more that he does not come back. Marvel's grown. They don't need him anymore. They shouldn't want him anymore.
Right.
They can attract better talent than him.
I agree. And some pretty exciting news. Surtur was confirmed for Thor Ragnarok. He's kind of the big, ominous demon deity that is responsible for Ragnarok. But up until this point, it was never actually confirmed. But we now have confirmation.
Is he in the picture?
Kind of looks like a Balrog.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
I got you.
And it was also Thor also debuted with a new 70s era-esque logo.
Same with Guardians of the Galaxy.
I would dare say it's 80s, but yeah, very throwback.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And I'm wondering, is there something more to it? Because Guardians of the Galaxy didn't change too much. But Thor, the font, everything is drastically different than what they debuted a few years ago. So I'm wondering if they are kind of doing a callback to maybe that tone of film from those time periods, or if it's simply just a throwback to maybe they're pulling, even though we have World War Hulk and stuff going on, or not World War Hulk, Planet Hulk going on in the movie. Maybe they're pulling some inspiration from maybe the 70s run of Thor. Like, I wonder if the font and logo is giving us an Easter egg or insight to the film.
Mm-hmm. You know, it would just be the bee's knees, since it seems to be like we're at least going to get some aspects of Planet Hulk in this. If Beta Ray Bill just somehow just has a little bit to do with it.
They did show the armor that the Hulk will be wearing, and it's right out of the comic.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
They did show concept art in Hall H that we did not get to see, and it was of Hulk in armor launching himself at Surtur. So that's some concept art that I would like to see, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
So now we're moving on, Clayton.
Right.
Into some trailer reactions.
Okay, trailer reactions. Let's do it.
Justice League trailer reaction.
Okay.
First off, Batman is back in black. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but his suit's all black.
No gray?
Nope, it's all black. I think that's a mistake.
I think so too.
There's no point.
I don't know. My buddy Micah, shout out Micah, you've wanted one for a long time. Here you go. He texted me and asked me what I thought of it, and I said I didn't hate it. To which he said, very political answer, LOL, which means laugh out loud.
In case you didn't know.
I don't know. I really think they're going in the wrong direction with Aquaman. I really do. I mean, obviously, until we get some context, we don't know what's going on, but Batman finds him, in this group of just, scruggly dudes. And he's, wearing regular clothes for some reason. They show him in another scene, he's, down in a bottle of vodka and, throwing it on the ground. Maybe until we get some context, like I said, maybe he's been dethroned from Atlantis and he's, roaming, drowning his sorrows or something, and Batman
finds him,
which I guess would make sense. But as of right now, it looks a little ridiculous. I will say that I didn't hate The Flash as much as I thought I was going to. They definitely, I think, took to heart some of the criticism of the way he looked in the BVS little scene. The dirt stash is gone.
And the man bun is
The
gone.
man bun is gone. So
His jokes were a little forced, but again, I wanted to hate him based on what I had seen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily walk away with that feeling.
Same. I didn't walk away hating him. But his jokes, man, I don't know if it's just the actor or if it's the writing. It felt like he was trying. And
Yeah,
it
but again,
feel that way.
the issue that we have, or that's at play, is Grant Gustin has nailed the character to a T. And once you see someone acting the character near perfect, I think it's easier to spot flaws.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. So, I mean, I stand by my statement. I don't hate it.
You can tell that the tone is different.
The tone is different.
This movie, even though Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman are coming out, this movie is the first movie to come out after the big shakedown.
Yeah, where they're changing the tone, they're changing their direction, they're changing how they approach even making the movies, from behind the scenes to on the screen. So I didn't hate the trailer. It didn't do anything for me.
The music choice was just
music
dumb.
choice was so... Who is picking music over there? Who's picking music over there?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, neither can I, and neither can they probably, because it's worst.
Probably found them on Craigslist.
Some random dude. We need a song for this.
So in addition to Justice League, we also got a Wonder Woman trailer. And let me tell you, I don't give two butt toots about this movie.
No, me
The
either.
trailer bored me.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree.
Funny enough, though, they released a new Suicide Squad trailer, and being so disappointed with the Wonder Woman trailer and the Justice League trailer, I'm actually kind of looking forward to Suicide Squad now. Like, it's just so different than the other DC films that it makes me, in contrast, want to see it.
Right. Anyways. I have nothing to say about it. To be honest, the only thing I was thinking the entire time is this is Captain America First Avenger.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, replace Steve Rogers' background and becoming Super Soldier with Wonder Woman's background, and, like, for whatever reason, leaving Themyscira with Chris Pine's character. They both go and fight a world war for America, and okay.
But Doctor Strange trailer.
Wow.
Dude, Doctor Strange trailer.
They're going so far out with that movie. It's like,
so good. That movie looks so good. And the scene where Steven throws on his cape of levitation.
And yes. It just kind of like, he kind of just like barely tosses it, and it just like it's alive, just like goes around his shoulders. Woo!
That was awesome. Kong Skull Island trailer.
This is another one where now my opinion of it is different now that you've told me it's in the same universe as the new Godzilla movie.
Correct.
I watched it not knowing that, and I was just like, I really don't care. But now I kind of do care.
Yeah.
So,
and that context is super important to know when you see the dress. This is the largest we've ever seen King Kong depicted in any Kong movie.
He is very big.
And it's because they're building up.
Very big.
Because they're doing the Godzilla King Kong crossover, and he needs to be as monstrous, if not more monstrous than Godzilla, because all he has is brute strength, where Godzilla has some powers.
Is that going to be why they go looking? Or is this they're just going to happen to clash in the next iteration of their movies?
They have not released any details on that stuff yet.
Okay.
But I'm also anxious to see Tom Hiddleston being the lead action man.
Yeah.
Brie Larson is also in that film, along with Samuel L. Jackson. And I believe J.K. Simmons is also in there.
John Goodman.
And John Goodman.
So all-star cast.
Yeah, and it looks really cool. Now,
what?
King Arthur trailer.
Duh?
It was funny. Before the trailer launched, Clay and I were sitting in the theater to see Star Trek, and I told him, we are going to see a King Arthur trailer soon. I did predict that we were probably going to see it with Doctor Strange, not thinking that, like, why would that be at Comic-Con?
Right,
like,
yeah.
I don't see why that would be at Comic-Con. But, lo and behold,
it was at
released.
Comic-Con.
And very, very interesting. The trailer starts off with a very Guy Ritchie-esque feel of kind of Arthur briefly describing to a soldier that he's held captive by, kind of like the series of events of maybe a robbery of some sort, and it feels just like Snatch or Lock, Stock.
Very unique
cuts.
camera angles of them like running through streets, like
Right.
the camera's attached to them as they're running, so it gives a very unique feel of them running through like back alleys and stuff as this is happening while he's telling his story. Very Guy Ritchie.
But then it very quickly changes to, we get to see some of King Arthur's light, like he pulls his sword out of the stone, and it's like irradiating energy. We see Jude Law, who I've been wanting to play a villain for the longest time, ever since that Guardians movie.
Oh yeah, where he voices the villain.
He voices. I was like, he needs to play a villain. Well, he's the villain in this, and he uses sorcery. There's a screen still where he's holding a giant fireball.
Do we know what
in
his character
hand.
name is yet?
I don't remember.
Is he gonna be? Is he a corrupted Merlin that is put in his place?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because I remember. I think I read his name, but I don't know who he is in the lore.
Because I haven't looked it up at all, but I watched the trailer and I was like, that would actually be kind of neat if he was like Merlin succumbed to like, I've got the power, so I should be in charge, and then Arthur comes along, not only beats him, but then like,
yeah,
now he's like,
the story behind Law's character is that he murders Arthur's father and family, and he takes the kingdom for himself, and Arthur comes from being the underdog with Excalibur to take his kingdom back.
So that's why he can pull the sword from a stone.
We also get giant elephants and what appear to be, there's some mythical creatures in the woods. There's like a troll type character. Like this is like this, before people thought it was going to be kind of a Guy Ritchie flavored grounded take on Arthur, but this is very much a Guy Ritchie flavored fantasy film, which is like the weirdest pairing you would ever think. Aesthetically, but it works.
How cool is that though?
So well.
Like you have Guy Ritchie, arguably the best director to come out of England, and he is like doing England's most prized mythos,
right?
Just to the T correctly, at least from what we can tell so far. Man, I believe on this podcast talked about how this movie worried us
because they were planning a 7-movie saga. We were like, dude,
what are you doing? What are you doing? We had what's his name? You gotta remind me again.
Who?
The Arthur.
Oh, Charlie
Hunnam. Anyways, I loved him in Sons of Anarchy, but you had a very good point that also made me worried. Is he's one of those actors, at least up until now, that seemed like he needed to be typecast because his range wasn't necessarily there.
Right.
Like he had angry and normal. You know what I mean? From what we see in the trailer.
Honestly, I think it helps he's able to use his normal voice.
Yes.
He is an English actor. And his American accent, I feel like when you watch Pacific Rim, he falls out of it all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's he's just able to kind of like be himself, so he can be kind of like witty and.
So I've gone from extremely worried about this movie and where they wanted to go with it to give it to me right now and start working on all the sequels.
Exactly. But please, you can wait and do Sherlock because they are working on the next Sherlock movie.
See, I don't know.
Redeem Game of Shadows, please. Redeem it.
If they see, that's where I lie. Will they redeem it? Will they waste time on Sherlock 3 and it still be another disappointment?
I hope not. I don't want
And then we have to wait longer.
Go back to why the first one was so good.
Yeah.
Steampunk. Mystery. CBS released Star Trek Discovery teaser of the ship leaving the space station. It was just a nice little animated bit. We got to see the ship. Showrunner Brian Fuller also briefly chatted about the show's format and how it won't be episodic. He compared the format to the telling of a novel, and that the season will be one continuous story.
That's good. That's the way to do TV.
That's
how you succeed.
Brian Fuller's story is kind of cool because he got into screenwriting because he loves Star Trek, and his number one dream was to always write for Star Trek. And now he's in charge for the show's revival.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of like when David Tennant wanted to always be the Doctor, and he grew up and became the most iconic Doctor, like ever.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
Did you see Dr. Tennant is gonna be on Family Guy as the 10th Doctor?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Flash Season 3 reaction. The trailer.
Looks good.
Seems like Reverse Flash is sticking around. He's caged up. We got to see Wally West in action as the Reverse Flash. Mm-hmm. Or not Reverse Flash, Kid Flash.
Kid Flash, yep.
But yeah, it looked really good. Mm-hmm. But what I have for us is some info that has been released.
Okie dokie, let's do it.
There was a long list. This is a highlighted list of the most interesting things to change in Season 3. First off, Season 3 starts off in what is being called the Flashpoint timeline.
Okay.
Barry has spent a year in the new Flashpoint timeline, and Wally is the Flash of this new world. So when the season starts, he's already been there for a year. And Kid Flash, Wally West, is the Flash.
Okay.
And here is the list of things. The fallout of Flash's second season finale, referred to as Flashpoint, will have an effect on the other shared universe CWDC shows. Flash lead Grant Gustin even said that he knows of a Flashpoint change in Arrow, which he said was a subtle one. Bum, bum, bum. Next, when we pick up with The Flash in the Season 3 premiere, a year will have passed since Barry altered the timeline, and he will be loving his new life. Both of his parents are alive. Hang on, my thing just wigged out. Both of his parents are alive. Wally West is the Flash, and Barry works for the CCPD. But Barry will also get advice from another speedster about navigating the new timeline, Gustin said, which will be probably, in my opinion, Reverse Flash, because we saw him caged up.
Mm-hmm.
Joe West's relationship with the rest of the cast will have changed as well. While he'll interact with Kid Flash, he won't know that the hero is his son Wally. And since he didn't raise Barry Allen, the two won't be terribly close. Therefore, Joe won't know who Cisco or Caitlin are.
Makes sense.
New cast addition, Tom Felton, spoke about his character, fellow Central City Police CSI Julian Dorn, saying that he will be suspicious of Barry Allen and will have a slightly abrasive relationship with him. He also said that while Julian will know Barry through years of working together, Barry will not be familiar with Julian due to his newness in the Flashpoint timeline. With Supergirl now in the CW, Grant Gustin expressed great excitement at the thought of Superman coming to the series, played by Tyler Hoechlin. But don't expect to see Flash and Superman team up anytime soon. Gustin revealed that he is yet to share any scenes with Tyler, and doesn't know if he actually will.
Okay.
While we're on the topic of the Flash, the Reverse Flash will be enjoyed outside of the Flash Season 3, as the actor has now signed a similar contract as Wentworth and Barrowman to be a series regular across all shows. Why, you ask, Clayton? These villains are going to be forming the Legion of Doom, and sounds to be the main antagonists of Legends Season 2, as it will focus on the Justice Society of America. Which, that actually excites me, because I like the Reverse Flash, and we're going to get him as an imposing villain affecting all the shows.
Yeah.
So I agree. I'm optimistic. You know, we were kind of wondering, like,
now that we know why they're doing that,
because we were talking about, like, you're gonna run Merlin in the ground because he already has been.
Yeah.
But they're doing the Legion of Doom,
which is it's cool. It's a cool idea. Yeah. Do it.
So we are coming up to a wrap up. There's just a few more things.
Okay.
Ghost Rider is confirmed for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, but it'll be Robbie Reyes in his muscle car, not the traditional bike-toting
For those of you who don't know, he's the current Ghost Rider.
Yes.
He looks a little bit different. He's more sleek. His mask is more... It looks kind of like a hollow.
I was going to say, it looks like a hollow from
Bleach, if you're familiar with that. And then he uses a muscle car instead of a motorcycle. So,
yeah.
It's whatever.
Whatever.
Like, Marvel gets the property back, and that's what they do with it. So
Kevin doesn't want it, so
I guess I guess that's true. I guess I just kind of assumed that something like that would go to Netflix, kind of like Punisher.
I guess the silver lining is that we still could eventually get a Netflix show because they're using the most recent Ghost Rider and arguably probably the most unpopular version of Ghost Rider.
Right.
We could still see
a true Ghost Rider story.
Correct.
Maybe they'll get Nicolas Cage to star.
Oh, now you're onto something. Pay me half. Netflix Marvel shows. Boom. We got an awesome trailer for Luke Cage. Comes out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
We also got a nice little teaser to Iron Fist, which comes out next year. And then a nice little teaser with a voiceover from
Stick.
Teasing The Defenders, which also comes out next year.
Yep. Super exciting.
We do have confirmation that the villain in The Defenders is going to be the Hand. So our assumptions, which, we weren't like super intelligent for making this call, but we did say, obviously, we think Daredevil is building towards the main bad of The Defenders. And that is the truth.
It is the truth.
Everything that's been going on in the background of Daredevil and was prominently in Daredevil Season 2, that is the threat.
Yep.
Defenders will be facing. We also got a confirmation that Daredevil Season 3 is coming and it is being worked on. No release date yet. I would be surprised to see it in 2017, but maybe 2018.
Yeah, me and you had words about this because I think it's a mistake to wait it more than a year.
I agree too. But, like I said...
It also depends on when Defenders is coming out. Because obviously we're going to get Iron Fist probably earlier in the year.
I would say spring 2017.
What if Defenders comes out in summer and then we get Daredevil later in the year? So then it's more like a year and a half wait.
But this was my retort to you. Because you said you didn't want to go a year without Daredevil. And I said, we won't really be going a year without him. We'll go a year without his solo show. But we'll have him in the Defenders. And it's going to be just as long as the other shows, we assume.
Yeah, but I've thought about that. And that's like saying there's no Captain America movie this phase. But we got to see him in the Avengers.
All right, fine. It just seems different because the whole threat of the Defenders
obviously
is
that statement was hypothetical.
Right, but like for me, it seems a little bit different because the whole threat and story of the Defenders is based in the Daredevil show alone. Has nothing to do with the other shows. So yeah. I feel like it would almost be like Daredevil with a supporting cast.
Yeah, but I think that we'll find Iron Fist is tangled up in that a little bit more.
Joe Quesada said that Iron Fist is going to have the most villains of any of the shows. He said it's going to be a ton of villains.
Because his actual story has quite a bit of ties to that same type of, like, the Hand and mythical type things. So I'd imagine not only is it going to be our introduction to Iron Fist, but it's probably going to be, like, the setup for why the Defenders need to come together.
Yeah. Chekhov will not be recast in Star Trek 4. Abrams states that Anton deserves better than that. And I'm glad he said that because we were kind of worried about that.
Yep.
They will write him off with a proper death. His death came at the end of production. So unlike Leonard Nimoy, where they're able to incorporate the death into the plot, they will address it in the fourth film.
Yes.
And they will not recast the character. And finally, as we are gearing up for the coming weeks, No Man's Sky is coming out. And there are those out there who will be happy to hear that PlayStation Plus actually is not required to play it online.
That's pretty awesome. Because up until now, with the introduction of the PlayStation 4, much like Xbox needing Xbox Live, you had to have PlayStation Plus to play online multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes sense at the same time because this isn't going to be a traditionally online multiplayer game. It's going to be more like Pokemon Go, where you exist in a online living world.
Right.
But you're not necessarily going to ever see any other human players.
At least for a long time.
Your effects and your discoveries and the things that you do impact the universe, and other people can see that, but it's still kind of unclear on if you're actually going to be able to see other human players.
Right.
Because sometimes when they talk, it makes it seem like
we never will.
This is my instance, but the things that I do to the universe affect everyone. But me and you could be like sitting right outside the same planet and maybe not see each other.
No.
So we'll have to wait and see. But this game, oh man, can't wait.
Be cool.
So that's it.
That's it. That's the end of our first revamp podcast.
Try it.
Well, thank you for those who came to listen to us today. As per usual, you can always find us on Facebook and on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Corbin Presson, that is Presson. You can find my brother
at Clayton Presson, Presson.
You can find our collaborative mind on Twitter at Nerdosphere, the new change name. You can also email us at nerdosphere@gmail.com for topic ideas, things you want us to chat about, as that is now its own podcast.
Yes, we would love suggestions on what you would want to hear us talk about or hear our thoughts, because we want to strive to still put out a topic or review video and podcast once a week.
Exactly.
So let us know. What do you want to hear us talk about?
So be sure to follow us on Podcast or Podbean and or iTunes, where you can leave a review. Let us know what you think of us. Also, go to YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, comment, share, and all that jazz. And as always, for everything in the Nerdosphere, keep it right here.
We'll see you next time.